Hi, today I have a message called The Channel is Open. So, the short version: an affirmation or prayer opens the door to helpful thoughts. To drift physically isn't to drift at all. There is something to lean upon. I'm here to experience my gratitude for you. This is an example of a sane orientation. The channel for the communication is open. Okay, so back to an affirmation or prayer opens the door to helpful thoughts. It can help us to have a focus, because as we go through the day, we'll run into those dense points, and it can be helpful to have something turned back toward. If we realize we're oriented toward insanity, then having a symbol of sanity to turn back toward, that also symbolizes the power that's here and now, to orient ourselves toward this and to say, I start from now, and everything in this situation, everyone starts from now. It can help to have a symbol to kind of get us started, and then that opens the door to the thoughts that will come after that, the helpful guiding thoughts. So what I have been focusing on for this period of the day is I am choosing between misperception and salvation as I look on this. So I can either get with the program of the plan that's here for all of us and flow with it and see it working in you and in everybody, or I can choose to keep misperceiving. And the more I see everything in terms of that, the more I see the insanity of continuing to misperceive. And if I don't feel good, I have chosen to continue to misperceive, because there's no way I could lack peace if I am oriented properly toward the sanity that everyone and everything shares, toward the goodness without opposite that everyone and everything actually has as its true nature, as the biggest, the only really part of it. But we see this fear surface we've projected onto what we see as all these separate beings and all these separate things. So I can choose sanity or not sanity, between misperception and salvation. I need to be saved from the fantasy I made with the ego thoughts. So one or the other. An affirmation or prayer opens the door to helpful thoughts. So when I've closed the door, I need to open the door again. And having a short little prayer or affirmation, we go together, you and I, is one that I like. It can just help to make a new beginning in every moment where you need a fresh new beginning and an open door to any thought Spirit would want to send you about anyone or anything. Okay, to drift physically isn't to drift at all. So it came to mind a friend I had in childhood, and then this came into drift physically isn't to drift at all, because it's not like I talked to this person, but then I was shown how we are connected and we really are the same, and there's no distance. So when anyone comes to mind, or when you meet anybody, it's always a holy encounter, and what we're encountering is our holiness, the holiness we shared. There's no distance between holiness and holiness, because it's one holiness that we share. So when we're perceiving people as far away from us in time or far away from us in space, that's not true. And we can choose between misperception and salvation as we see that. So to choose salvation is to remember that the same beingness is within us both, and so we're joined forever, we're connected eternally, and we're joined in innocence. And anything else I'd want to say about that, if it contradicts that or covers that up, it's not helping me. If it supports that remembrance that we're actually one, and that we are loved, and that we love, and that we are lovable forever, then that is on my side and on the side of the one I'm thinking of. So I can be selective when it comes to considering the thoughts that come to mind, and whether or not to set those down, or to recognize this uplifts and steadies me and helps me in my focus on what we both are together and what we will be forever and what we always have been. So to drift physically isn't to drift at all. So this can apply to perceived comings and goings. If it seems that people are coming and going out of our experience, and if we seem to be especially happy or unhappy about that, let's pretend it's someone who seems to be drifting out of your experience and you're happy about it. You're still connected to their being eternally. Their being is still innocence forever, and so is yours. Or let's say they're coming into your experience and you don't welcome it. Same thing. So the ego can tell you a whole lot of thoughts about any defensiveness you need, or if you especially want someone to be in your presence and they aren't there, and then ego will tell you how you are lacking or how you'd have so much more benefit if they were in your physical presence. And you can call ego on all those lies and set them down and focus back toward whatever helps you. So for me, I choose between salvation and misperception as I see this, and I'm going to choose salvation as I'm done wasting time. I'm done misperceiving. Okay, let's see. That being said, we have our pockets where we become dispirited and we feel stuck. But if you're like me more and more, when you're in one of those pockets where you've allowed yourself to become dispirited and to think that illusions are real, it sucks so badly that you definitely want to get reoriented sooner or later, because anything in the world that you've taught yourself to feed upon to distract you away from this uncomfortable feeling of basically things sucking it's not going to work anymore. The further we go into this work, our little comforts and distractions aren't so comforting or distracting anymore. But reorienting is everything. It's like a garden coming into bloom. So we really come to value and love reorienting toward what is real. There's something to lean upon. There sure is. It's what everyone and everything is underneath any fear surface we may have projected upon it. So the fear surface is so tiny, it's so brittle and so thin, and the beauty and the boundlessness, and it's not really contained at all, of the uncontained joy of what we're looking on, that's real. That's like if you put a tiny surface over the sun, which you couldn't because it would burn it away, right? But let's pretend you could. You could cover the sun with one layer of paper and fool yourself that it's a bulldozer instead of a sun. It's not. It's not. And when we allow the light of joy to shine forth because we know it's there and we found our willingness to allow it to shine, then there aren't really such big obstacles anymore, because any obstacle could only be the thinness, the insignificance of that paper. And what's shining behind it is the full power of the sun, the full power of the spirit. That's the power that belongs to everyone right now. And if ego is saying the circumstances of your life or someone else's life don't reflect that, that's okay. That's just the illusion. That's what we allow blessing to come in and change. And we're not specific about trying to run that. Our job is consistent reorientation toward what changes that and what brings the miracles in through us. But it's not like we're trying to do miracles. It's like we allow them to float. The gifts we give to everyone, and then we have them be returned to us. We allow everything to flow through what we perceive as ourselves and what we perceive as everyone and everything else, and we don't make exceptions. This opening up, like a garden blooming. It's springtime here, so this opening up. There is something to lean upon. The something there is to lean upon is not of time or space, but it's the essential nature of what everything in time and space is. So that's something to lean upon, that sanity, that love, that light, that true foundation of everyone and everything is present everywhere, within everyone and everything as its true nature. So that's why we can start relaxing and relying upon what's real here, not relying upon any fear surfaces. And the ego is going to tell us some of the fear we project out onto some of the surfaces is what we want to rely on. Ego might say, I trust you because, but I don't trust this other. So when we see the ego's differentiating, it's nothing we have to try to force our behavior to change over. We have behavioral patterns, but as we consistently set down the thoughts of ego and consistently invite in the thoughts of spirit, the inspiration or the thoughts that induce miracles, then that washes away any perception or judgment of anyone's behavioral patterns, yours or someone else's. So what comes in it just washes away. It washes away. And it's a service. It's a service we call in. It's a service we perform. It's a service that's just done for us. It's a service from many angles, no matter how you look at it. Okay, I'm here to experience my gratitude for you. This is an example of a sane orientation. So when I notice I don't have a sane orientation, I'm feeling tense, I'm feeling stressed, I notice I'm judging, I'm feeling bereft, I'm feeling depressed, I've judged circumstances and decreed disaster, right? Or anticipated disaster. But when I come back to, I'm here to experience my gratitude for you, whether that's an object or a person, it doesn't matter how it appears on the outside. They all have being. A circumstance, it's that paper that's on the outside that seems to be the separate surface. You are an object, you are a person, you are a circumstance. The gratitude, what we have gratitude for, it's what's shining behind all of that. And it shines as one. So when someone comes to mind, we can always remind ourselves, that's a way of reorienting. It was 12:12 as I just said that. The length of the message. I'm here to experience my gratitude for you. So why am I talking and why is someone seemingly else listening? Because I'm here to experience. We bring it into experience in some way. We don't know how, but it's coming. It's here. I'm here to experience my gratitude for you. Not for your body, not for your personality, not for any judgment I'm making about a you that I would call separate, but I'm here to experience my gratitude for what you are, for what makes you exactly the same as every object, person, circumstance, or idea, no matter what its surface is. That's what I'm grateful for. So no matter who you are, of course I'm grateful to you. And of course you're grateful to me, because what's shining behind any fear surface you may project upon me is the same thing. We're just oriented toward relentless judgments of the fear surfaces we've projected. And that experience of the projected fear surfaces that seem to be separate and different came about because we believed that because we projected outward instead of extending love, because we were striving to block love. And we saw this instead. We saw separate surfaces, and then we got caught. So we made the first judgment of separation, and then we keep relentlessly judging what seem to be these separate fear surfaces. We put the fear surface out there to block the shining of the love, and now we keep relentlessly judging all the different fear surfaces in opposition. You're good, you're bad, you're tall, you're short, you're lovely, you're ugly, you're rich, you're poor. And it's just bouncing off this paper surface, this paper covering the sun. It's very silly. We keep bouncing. But then when we realize we don't have to bounce off that thin paper surface we projected out there as fear on top of the light, and we can just stand in gratitude for the light, then the light is invited to make itself obvious through anyone, through anything, through any idea, through any circumstance. The light is invited to step forward. And if a transformation needs to occur to make our blessings obvious, then change will seem to occur to make it obvious to us how everyone and everything, they're all eternally blessed. That's the truth of us. If we're seeing something different, it's just because we wanted to look at paper surfaces instead of the light of love. But now we know how to set down our attachment to paper surfaces and invite the light of love in. Okay, the channel for the communication is open. So in A Course in Miracles, I believe it says that the Holy Spirit holds the channel for communication from God to you, holds that open. So you don't have to. The channel's already open. We can look away, we can ignore. That's our part. And when we feel depressed or frustrated or tense, there's this beautiful big open channel from God to us through Holy Spirit that's open, that could communicate lovingly to us all the time, and that can cause loving communication or awareness of the unity of us that might take the form of loving communication here in perceived time and space. Whatever form it's going to take, if it's coming from that love, it's going to be loving. And we keep ignoring this tremendous abundance and resource. We might be going out into the world trying to get a worldly abundance and resource, and we're totally ignoring this channel. I think of it as like a big tube that can pour blessings into your mind, and therefore into your perceived life, and therefore into the lives and experiences you perceive as belonging to other. This incredible source of right now, never-ending abundance. We've trained ourselves to ignore it, to pretend it's not here, which is silly and insane. So today we can remember that it's here and keep reorienting toward it without placing specific demands on it. Here's abundance and I want it to take this form in time or space. I've learned to keep my hands off that. Here's abundance, and abundance will place thoughts in my mind. And those thoughts will cause the action I perceive as belonging to me, the speech I believe belongs to me, the action I believe belongs to you, the conditions I believe you're experiencing, the speech that I believe belongs to you. It will all be loving. It will all be blessed. It will all be beautiful, because the abundance that we all have this open channel to, even every object you can think of. Everybody has this open channel to the abundance of the Holy Spirit. That's never, I want to say it's never blocked, although I say we block love. It's kind of like we block our sight of it. It's just ignored. So when we realize this huge thing, think of winning the lottery. Everybody already has. It's here. This huge thing is here for all of us, and we can retrain to turn toward it, look at it, pay attention to it, allow it to give us the flow that causes, the flow of thought that causes our speech and actions. Then we're truly in very good and loving hands, and as a huge relief we can see everyone and everything in those same very good, abundant, and loving hands. So that's a huge relief for all of us. I hope I can share that with you, that feeling of well-being and feeling that you can share everything that is good, that is present here, because it can flow into your mind. So thank you for listening, and happy healing.